right, Rutgers basketball suffers a disappointing loss to number 20 Texas A&M in the third and final game of the Players Era Festival during Feast Week in Las Vegas, 81-77. It was an up and down game. Rutgers was trailing pretty much the entire first half. They went down 40-34 at the half, came out on fire in that second half, completely blitzed Texas A&M, and went on a 29-14 run. They were up 63-54 with about 12 minutes to go. Went on a 5-minute drought. Let Texas A&M back in the game. It was a back and forth battle down the stretch. Rutgers ultimately fell short. Few storylines in this game. The most frustrating thing about this loss is that Rutgers took away Texas A&M's strength. They came into the game number one in the country in offensive rebounding rate. And according to Ken Pom, they held Texas A&M to their lowest offensive rebounding rate of the season. Pretty much like by far. 30.8% offensive rebounding. They only had two other games under 40% all year. Against Creighton and Oregon, they were 44-45%. So Rutgers actually out-rebounded Texas A&M in this game. It's been a weakness all season. Obviously, that was a big major part of the game plan. They had a 42-35 edge, so +7 on the boards. They were 15-12 on offensive rebounds. They actually out-rebounded Texas A&M on the glass, 15-12, had a 14-11 second chance point advantage, and they lost the game. And why did they lose the game? Some things that really stick out is free throw rate. Texas A&M got to the line 75% of their possessions, 42 free throws, 31-42, 73.8%. Texas A&M came into the game shooting only 67% for the season, 42 attempts versus just 17 for Rutgers. Rutgers was fantastic from the line once again, 15 of 17, 88.2%. They're shooting 75% for the season now, which is super encouraging. But a 25 free throw attempt differential. And in terms of actual points, -16 for Rutgers at the free throw line. That was a huge factor in this game. From three-point perspective, Texas A&M is not a good three-point team. They were just 2 of 15. Rutgers struggled, though, 6 of 26, 23%. And that was a big reason, too. But really, the free throw differential was a killer. It was a physical game. I don't know. I might be wrong here. I mean, Texas A&M is clearly the more athletic team. It feels like more athletic teams get the benefit of the doubt more on foul in terms of creating fouls. I mean, Dylan Harper clearly created contact on his last couple drives. Didn't get called. I'm not blaming this on the refs. Rutgers had their opportunities. But it was frustrating to see that down the stretch. But really, Rutgers just situationally, they showed their inexperience as a team, and Texas A&M is a super veteran team, and that they looked like it down the stretch. I thought Rutgers outplayed Texas A&M for large stretches of this game, and it's really frustrating that they lost. This was a statement win, signature win for them. You know, Texas A&M is a Q1 opponent on a neutral court. They're, Ken Pom, what are they now? They are number 27. This was a big opportunity for them, and they let it slip away. I thought key situations in this game in the second half, when they got to that 63-54 lead with 12 minutes to go, I thought a key stretch was not building, because they really had a chance there. They got a turnover. Durkak got a steal. It's about 12:30 to go. And within 4 seconds of the steal on the possession, J. Mike misses a three. Now, I'm not trying to pick on J. Mike, but as a team, that's just poor situational awareness. You're up 9, you get a steal, and you rush a three. It doesn't matter who took it, to be honest with you. But the fact that one of their least efficient three-point shooters takes it, who hasn't been playing big minutes, it just feels like a forced opportunity. Texas A&M recovers. They get fouled. They miss a free throw. They miss both free throws. And then they get the rebound. And then, unfortunately, Durkak drew an offensive foul. Go to the media timeout. It's still, no one's scored yet. It's still 63-54. And then Rutgers gets the defensive rebound. Dylan misses a three. Texas A&M grabs an offensive rebound off a miss. They get fouled. They missed both free throws again. And then that's where the offensive rebound for Texas A&M showed up, and they got a second chance point. And then Rutgers struggled from there. Ace missed a three. Dylan missed a jumper off an Ace offensive rebound. Dylan Grant got the offensive rebound, and then Ace missed a layup. And they got 2 offensive rebounds in that possession, could not score. And then Wade Taylor, probably the best player on the court in this game, converts, and then Texas A&M is back in the game. So they did an amazing job coming out in the second half and jumping out to that lead, but then they couldn't they couldn't deliver that knockout blow. They had a chance to deliver the dagger and really put Texas A&M on the ropes in double-digit deficit. It's a veteran team. They would have fought back, but they would have put up a last stand is what I mean. But Rutgers had a real chance to extend that lead, and they couldn't. And then they went into their own drought, and they lost that lead. And that was really frustrating. Last couple of minutes, I love Zach Martini. He had 2 key turnovers. That really hurt this team. Again, when they get a chance to take the lead down the stretch, they can't even get a shot off. That was Martini. They were down 1 point with 41 seconds to go. Ace made the unselfish play, driving, found Martini on the perimeter, and he lost it. The thing about Martini is, he's a veteran guy. He brings a lot to this team, but he didn't even take a shot again tonight. That's, I think, 2 games in a row, he didn't take a shot. So his value is as a 3-point shooter. If he's not going to take shots, that's a problem. He did give him 2 boards. He had 3 fouls, 2 turnovers, a steal, -11 in 13 minutes for him. PJ Hayes finally got some threes in this game, but was just 1 of 5. Only played 8 minutes. Again, I'm glad he took his shots, but he's obviously out of rhythm now in Vegas. Didn't play a lot, so couldn't get going there. Dylan Grant made his season debut, his Rutgers debut. I mean, it made sense. His length, his rebounding, his defense. He did take 5 shots, though. I know everybody's looking to kind of make their mark, but 5 shots from him in his first action. It was 0-5, 0-2 from 3. He can hit threes, but he didn't make them in this game. Had a rebound, had an assist, had a steal. Was -5 in 14 minutes. But listen, he plays good defense. I like Dylan Grant. I think, giving him a shot in the situation made sense. I just think he forced a little bit offensively. Acuff gave him nothing. 1 shot, miss on 3, 1 assist, 1 turnover in 6 minutes. Jermichael Davis, 0-2, 3 assists, no turnovers. So that was solid. 11 minutes plus 3. That's his role. He's a good facilitator. I've been talking that up for a while. He can on-ball defend, but as offensively, when he looks to facilitate, he's a value. When he looks to force shots, he's not. Egbole, 15 minutes, 2 points, 6 rebounds. That gave him something. Did foul out. 1 turnover. +9, though, when on the floor. You really didn't get any other scoring other than Layson Somerville off the bench. 8 points, 3 of 4 from the floor. He's been very consistent offensively. 4 rebounds. I felt like, he talked a little bit too much down the stretch when he made that basket. Just stay in the moment. Stay in the moment. I know this team feeds off of that energy, but, you got to get better defensively to stay on the floor. This team needs your defense. But he gave him scoring punch off the bench. That was good. But other than that, I mean, you had 3 guys. You had the big 3, Harper, Bailey, and Jeremiah Williams. If there's any positive thing to come out of this week in Vegas, is Jeremiah Williams coming of age, right? We knew he was going to be needed to be the 3rd cog in this team, and he showed out in a big way. In this game, he was massive in the second half. 20 points, 7 of 8 from the floor, 5 of 6 on the line, 4 rebounds. He did have 4 turnovers, 4 fouls, a steal. In the second half, yeah, he gave him 17 points. It was a huge reason for them jumping out to that big lead. And he was fantastic. On the glass, he was attacking. He had 3 offensive rebounds in that second half. It was really huge for this team. Plays really good defense. And, overall in Vegas, he played really well. He had some needless fouls, over-aggressive fouls. So he's got to work on that. He's got to stay in it a little bit better in his head and defend without fouling more, because they need him on the court. They need Jeremiah Williams in this game. 26 minutes, honestly, in this game, they needed 30-plus out of him. So that was a fail there. In terms of Bailey, much better tonight. Again, 2 back-to-back good games, 10 of 20 from the floor. It was just 2 of 8 from 3. Listen, he's going to force some outside shots. 2 of 2 from the line, 10 rebounds. That was huge. He really did his job on the glass today. This is a big-time opponent on the glass, and he showed up in a big way. Super encouraging. Did have 4 turnovers, 3 fouls, 2 steals, but Rutgers was 0 even when he was on the floor in 35 minutes. Dylan Harper, Texas A&M, give him credit. They made it really hard for him to get to the rim. He struggled from an efficiency standpoint. I thought, again, he drew contact, didn't get called at times. Overall, 6 of 20 from the floor, 2 of 6 from 3, 4 of 4 from the line, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, a block. In 36 minutes, they were -6, 18 points. Listen, if he's going to score 18 points in a bad game or a poor shooting game for him, I mean, that's still phenomenal. But, you know, he wasn't able to dominate with layups the way he has been. Obviously, Texas A&M has a lot of length, a lot of athleticism. They made it really hard for him. On layups and dunks, Rutgers was 14 of 24. So close to, was that 55%? Not great. You knew that Texas A&M was going to make it hard for them. They were exactly 1.0 points per possession. So it's not one of their better offensive games simply because they turned it over a lot. 16 turnovers. That was a huge issue in this game. I forgot to mention that at the top. 16 turnovers. That's a season high. And in terms of the differential, Texas A&M just 13 turnovers, and they held a 21-12 advantage in points off of turnovers. So that negated the edge that Rutgers had on the offensive glass. So that was huge. You expected Rutgers to take care of the ball better in this game like they have, and they didn't score the last 3:10 of the game. So it's a disappointing loss for sure. But can I please, to those jumping off the ledge saying, is it time to judge Pikiell as a disappointment? This team is, very little hope of making the NCAA tournament. ESPN gave them whatever percentage. Guys, they lost to Kennesaw State. That's a bad loss. But historically, if you look at where that loss is, I mean, Kennesaw is 162 in KenPom. All right, 162. Not a great loss by any means. You want to avoid that. They just beat Townsend last night. They lost to a good UC Irvine team. It was 53 in KenPom. They're playing Kent State as we speak. But let's look at Rutgers 3 years ago with all the seniors that they had and the 3 back-to-back losses. DePaul was 103. UMass was 185. And Lafayette was 323. And those were all in November. And Rutgers ended up making the in-state tournament. So please, stop writing this team off. If you're a fan of this program, if you follow this team for a long time, there are clear signs that this team is very close to clicking. Not enough from the role players in Vegas, but you got Jeremiah Williams back in a big way. Durkak is a gamer. Offensively, he can be challenged at times. He brings it defensively. He does the little things on the court. All right? They need more from their bigs. They need more from Hayes and Martini. Acuff showed some signs of life. Not so much in this game. But this team, their ability to rebound against a really good rebounding team, a really good team that's a veteran team, and they made too many mistakes. They honestly should have won this game. You play Alabama down to the final possession of the game. You're within one possession with less than a minute to go. Dylan Harper missed a really tough shot. I mean, if you're not encouraged by those results, I don't know what to say, because those are 2 of the best teams in the country, and Rutgers played them to the wire. And Dylan and Ace, they're still growing. This team is still growing. 1 month is complete. November is done. 5-3. It's not where you want to be. They still have some holes. They got to work. They got to be consistent as a rebounder. They got to be consistent defensively. But they've shown signs of life with both. They've struggled from 3. They're very good from the foul line. They're still 53% from 2-point range. Overall, this team has to continue to grow. But yes, they missed out on 2 huge opportunities for statement wins in non-conference play. But to write this team off, or to have major concerns to think that this team's not going to make the NCAA tournament, I disagree. I think this team showed a lot of where their ceiling could be in the last 2 games. And we saw the floor in Kennesaw State. However, I noted after the Alabama loss, a clear shift in the identity of this team was running the offense from Ace in that first half at Kennesaw State through Dylan in the second half. Now, you got to get more from your shooters. They're not getting enough from their shooters. They got to figure that out. Yes, the Big Ten's a gauntlet, but there's plenty of big win opportunities there. And you just play two of the best teams that are going to be quad one opponents on the road, or neutral court environments. That's not going to hurt your net. The net will come out this coming week. At Kennesaw State, yes, that's probably a Q3 loss that's going to hurt your net. They don't have any big wins. Notre Dame's probably Q2 win on a neutral court. You now go to Ohio State next Saturday, the number 18 in Ken Palm. That's on the road. That's a huge Q1 road opportunity. It's a huge chance for this team to make a statement on the road. They have a whole week to work out now. Ohio State just lost on a buzzer beater in overtime to Pitt, who's 13th in Ken Palm. They lost to Texas A&M by 14 points. Their only win is they beat Texas the first game of the season. That's a good win. And they have a bunch of, 250, 275 wins. They play Maryland on the road Wednesday, and then Rutgers comes to town Saturday. It's way too early to panic. This team showed you wanted them to win one of these two games for sure. They beat Notre Dame. They had to get that win. It was a struggle. They beat them. They lost two close games to two really good teams. They hung. Yes, this team was ranked. You expect them to win. Okay. But they played two veteran teams. This team certainly is going through some growing pains. If you expected them to have it figured out in November 30th, they didn't. They don't have it figured out by November 30th. But there's some clear signs that this team has a real chance to be really good. Now, if they miss the NCAA tournament, Steve Peichel deserves to be absolutely criticized for a failed season. And this team does as well. But guess what? It's November 30th. Basketball is a marathon, not a sprint. Okay? So everyone settle down, relax. There's a lot to like about this team. Very frustrating loss. I really wanted this game, especially when you out-rebound a team that's a really good out-rebounding team. When you get the kind of performance you got from Jeremiah Williams, it's really disappointing. This team's got time to regroup now, and this team's going to learn. This team's going to get better. To think that this team won't get better is maddening to me. Thank you for listening and watching once again here at the Scarlet Faithful Podcast.